What's up, it's Icy, and in the biggest plot twist of the year, 21 Savage has been arrested by ICE, or the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, on charges that he's actually a British citizen illegally staying in America. Following the arrest, ICE put out a statement saying his whole public persona is false. He actually came to the US from the UK as a teen and overstayed his visa. I think the comment ICE put out was horrible, because it's their job to state the facts and only the facts. But instead, they tried to undermine 21's entire career by saying that his whole public persona is false. And that's a very serious accusation to make about a rapper, as hip-hop's a place where authenticity and realness are held to the highest degree. And it's not just ICE taking aim at 21, as he's also been the target of some pretty intense internet clowning, as the memes have been out of control, and even esteemed publications like the Washington Post had articles accusing the rapper of being a faker, although they've since taken down their article. However, 21 Savage doesn't deserve all the hate he's been getting, and that's because most people aren't taking the time to think about the entire situation. People seem to believe that 21 should have been more honest about where he grew up. However, that's an absolutely ridiculous way of thinking, because if 21 was honest about spending his early years in England, he would effectively be snitching on himself for overstaying his visa. If he was going to reveal his true childhood origins, he might as well just ask to get deported. Plus, TMZ did some digging and came to the conclusion that there's nowhere on the internet where 21 references where he was born, so people were just assuming that the rapper spent his whole life in Atlanta because it's the only city he talks about. Then, there's also the criticism that 21 being from England significantly lowers his credibility as a rapper, and that's because Atlanta is heavily associated with the trap scene, which is a style of hip-hop that uses lyrics centering around street life and violence. Plus, pop culture represents the inner city of Atlanta as a pretty dangerous place, so rappers from the city are seen as more authentic, as if they really live the life they rap about. And 21 fits this authentic Atlanta mold perfectly, as his lyrics often represent the dangerous setting of his upbringing, and he self-described his style as murder music. Contrast this with him actually being from England, which is associated with crumpets and fancy wigs, and well, it's easy to see why people are starting to doubt Sir Savage the 21st's credibility. But despite this doubt of 21's authenticity, it's pretty clear that he still experienced much of the rough upbringing that he's described in his music and interviews. 21 came over from England in 2005, and at the time he was only 12 years old, so the rapper still spent the entirety of his teenage years in Atlanta, and that's the age he would have gotten more involved with gangs and crime even if he'd lived in the city for his entire life. And it doesn't matter that 21 hasn't been located out of Atlanta since birth, as he's still definitely gotten a lifetime of trauma and pain from the city. The rapper's described getting shot 6 times, seeing his best friend get murdered, and having his brother get murdered. He's also caught a federal drug charge in 2014. So contrary to ICE's statement, 21's whole persona isn't false. He really has lived the dangerous and criminal life that he raps about. And as for 21's early life in England, no concrete details have emerged, but family photos have come into the public eye that seem to identify 21's dad as Dr. Amsu Apu, but nothing's been confirmed yet. It's easy to make the assumption that if 21's dad is a doctor, then the rapper must have lived a privileged life. But the bottom line is that 21's been in Atlanta, and Dr. Amsu Apu's been in England. So even if he is 21's dad, it's likely he wasn't too involved in the rapper's life. Now, flash forward to the present day, and you have to respect 21 for all the love and support that he's shown Atlanta since he made it out. For the last 3 years, the rapper's hosted a school drive that gets supplies to kids in Atlanta who otherwise couldn't afford them. And he's donated $10,000 to an elementary school. He's also done his part to try and curb the violence in Atlanta, as he's pushed for a movement to have people fight with paintball guns instead of deadly weapons, and he's paid for the funeral of a young boy killed in gang crossfire. So if you want to make the claim that the rapper's not all about Atlanta, you're just plain wrong. 21 Savage definitely doesn't deserve all the hate he's been getting, and I really hope his name and reputation gets cleared up over the coming weeks. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed my content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as that will help my very small channel get exposure. And have a nice day.